Hello and welcome. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations. Thanks for checking in with us today. We're going to do kind of a Mother's Day gift painting. This is a super easy technique. Check it out. I think that this would be great for kids if you were looking at wanting them to be able to maybe hand make something to give to a grandmother, or if you're watching this and they can do it for their own mom. I mean, whatever. We're just taking a canvas. This one I bought from a craft store, but it's not an expensive one. It's a fairly cheapy one. You could get one at the dollar store. And similarly, use any craft paint from the dollar store as well. So you don't have to go and buy special paints. I'm just using some really inexpensive acrylics. These aren't a high-end artist grade acrylic at all, because you know what? It's just for fun. It's just for fun. So what we want to do first is the background. So we're going to be doing some florals. And so I have a light blue. I'm just faking this, guys. So you know what? I have a light blue. We're just doing some sky colors, right? So let's put a little bit of kind of a mid-tone blue in there. Oh, if there's any in there. There's a bit. And I'm gonna add a bit of white in there as well because I don't want it to be, overwhelmingly dark. And take it down a little bit. So I'm gonna do that for the sky, and I'm gonna put my grass on right now too. So I'm just doing this kind of, whoa, that was a lot. Okay, there's a lot in there. It just is what it is. A little bit of a darker tone. Okay, that's probably good. We'll see. Oh, Lord. We'll see as it goes whether I need to add any in. And I'm just using a really inexpensive chip brush. I've got a little bit of water here, so I'm just barely dipping in, right? And pushing it off because I don't want to have tons of this. I do have a cloth off to the side. And I'm just going to start to drag it through my paint. And don't forget the sides while you're at it. We're artists here. We like to finish our work off just to give it a finished look. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back and forth through my paint. Create a bit of a sky motif. We'll come back to this after, but we're just getting some of our sky colors in. And while I still have the blue on, because we're going easy, so you can see the sky, I'm just going to start dragging it through my greens. And again, doing my sides. Perfect. Into my water. Clean off my hands. Fork. You could use a real fork. I just got plastic forks here in the shop. And I'm just going to kind of scrape up all over. I'm just adding a bit of texture. It's no big deal. We're going to be covering this with all kinds of florals anyway. Also done. All right, cool. So far, there's our canvas. And we just used the multiple colors in the sky and in the grass so that we got some variation in tone. So it didn't all look exactly the same, right? Okay, so those are my blues done. My blues are done. Okay, blues are done. Greens are maybe done, but I'm gonna leave them out just in case. We'll see if I need leaves or anything like that. White, I may still want to do something with white, so we'll see. Now, we're gonna do kind of like a field of some sunflowers and some other flowers. So I have a yellow, so a bright yellow, and that's a little too bright for my sunflowers. So I do have this kind of slightly more earthen tone, and I'm just gonna squirt a mess of that in there too. And then a little bit of just a putty color. All right, that's it. And then I have a big straw. I have these fat straws because of blowing with alcohol inks. So I'm just going to cut segments in it. So just, you know, like a 1/4 inch wide all the way around. And where did I start? Okay, and then I'm going to fan it out. So I'm just going to kind of fan it out, and we end up with this. And I'm going to just mush that into my paint medley and just kind of stamp it off to the side. And this is going to become my flowers, my sunflowers. Okay, and this is the base of my sunflowers. And I had, you'll notice I had these two kind of going off the edge just so that it's not constrained by there. Now, I have a big cotton, what are these? Ear cleaner things. Okay, so I have some small ones, and what I have done is I've taken 6 of them, right, and I've just put an elastic around them. This one's a big one, and what I'm going to do is I am taking a bit of a brown tone, and I'm going to dot this in. Now, if you don't have something like this, I just happen to have this in the shop, then take a, you know, take a lid and dip that in. This is going to be the center, and I may go with that because this is round, so it might not be the best, right? For creating my center. Yeah, no, it kind of sucks. All right. That's not good. So you're not flat enough. You're not flat enough. You just kind of look for something that's going to be the size that you want. And you know what? I'm just going with my finger, I think. I think my finger is the right size. Yep, my finger works perfect. Don't overlook it. And this is going to be the center of my sunflower. All right, so if you're doing this with kids, they're gonna like the finger part. All right, so already starting to look a little bit more like sunflowers. right? We are going to add in some other flowers though, just to kind of, you know, have it be a little bit more like a field of flowers. And we'll see if my little, why cannot I not think of what these are called? I keep thinking pipe cleaners in my head, and that's so not right. Okay, and so we're gonna dot these in and around here and there, just as extra little wildflowers out in the field, right? Little grouping. Okay. Now I'm thinking, because we're gonna have to let this dry, but I'm just trying to see if I needed other flowers anywhere. And I'm just wondering. About just little single dots. Now this is like a little dotting tool. You could, again, use a nail head, and I may end up having to do that if this doesn't work like how I want it to. I'm just kind of adding just a few random dots here and there. Okay, and let me clean that off. So just a nail with a little flat head works perfectly for this. The one thing that, here we go, that I want is a little bit of black. Again, using this to just kind of dot a little bit in the center of each of my sunflowers. Now, I did just put my finger down on my painting. So what I am gonna do is just take my Q-tips. It just occurred to me. Okay, that's probably a brand name and not what I should be calling them, but you all are with me, right? You're probably all screaming Q-tips. Okay, so this is what our little field of sunflowers looks like. Now you could stop right here. You could be done. I'm gonna let it dry and then see if I feel like I need more. Okay, so this could be it, especially if you're doing this with littles, right? Then just leave your field like this. This looks awesome, just as it is, super cute. You've got the sense of the field and the sunflowers. You know, if you're doing this with kids and they want to use the same technique and they want big pink blooms rather than sunflowers, have big pink blooms. And if you've got a big fat straw, and then you could do and stamp, and then you could get a skinny straw and then stamp in the center. So you get layered flowers, would also be very cute. So don't feel that you're locked into one look. So you could be done now. I'm gonna let it dry and then come back and add to it, but I'm showing you now in case I mess it up. Because sometimes more is not more, right? Sometimes simple is the best way to go. Okay, this is mostly dry. And I just wanted to show you the one little thing that I was doing. So here's my problem. I'm not good at doing things loose, right? So sort of loose and free form. And I keep challenging myself to do it. And then I kind of insist on going back in and adding detail, which takes away from the whole exercise of doing it loose. So I am really forcing myself to not do any more than the little bit that I've done, but I'll show you the little bit that I did. So you can kind of see this one I did nothing to, and then these ones, see how there's just a little bit of thin black lines radiating out from the center, and then just a tiny little bit of a black stem, just a hint of one, not coloring it in major, but just it kind of filled in space a little bit. And and I did the ubiquitous 3 little birds. So all I was doing was taking a really thin, this is like a 0.3, was it? Yeah, 0.3, and just pulling, okay, except now that one's got paint all over it. Let me get rid of the paint. And just pulling some little black lines out of the center, and it just kind of focused it onto those a little bit more. So again, super quick, super easy. It is not something that I am looking to sell in the shop for big money or anything, but I think that this is a really cute little activity to be able to do with kids, for them to be able to give as gifts, them to have fun with paint, or you know what, for you to be able to do with paint and have fun doing it. Super easy, no major techniques. We're using straws and Q-tips, now that I remember what they're called, and just dollar store paints and dollar store canvas. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Certainly let me know if you're going to give it a try, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.